Hey, my name is Ivan T. Vincent. I want you all to pay attention to the video I'm about to put up, and just listen and please help if you can. I've been making videos since about 2014, and I'm under a pretty heavy algorithm, you know, for reasons that most of you probably would understand. There's something about telling the truth about people that garners a lot of, let's just say, attention that you don't want, and it's a shame when people can't tell the truth, and people around the world can't, you know, just hear it and then decide for themselves, you know, like everybody doesn't have a brain to figure out whether what you're saying is true or not. I'm sure there are people, well, I will have to take that back, because there are people on the left who I do believe anything you tell them, unless it's against what they've already been being taught. And then you know, if they had a convincing argument about anything, I would probably listen, but they never do. That's the problem. My thing is I'm making this video because I'm in a very bad situation, okay? And I worked all my life until I was handicapped or disabled. I won't say handicapped. I was disabled. I have osteoarthritis in both of my left and right knees. My left knee is particularly worse than my right. I also have asthma, which I contracted after battling bronchitis several times from moving all the way up here to Ohio. Sorry, my hair's a little messy. I just came in from a shopping trip, believe it or not. I don't look like it. I hope I didn't look like that in the store. But anyway, see, here's the thing. First, let me start with this. I was injured at the end of 2015. I had surgery on my left knee, arthroscopic surgery, where they went in and they repaired a torn meniscus. The doctor lied. I think this doctor was actually getting paid by the company where I got hurt, and I think he lied and he made money, and it's a pretty big company, so I think he lied and they bought him off, in other words, to defend themselves from having to pay me for the damage that happened on their job. And what made it worse was when I went to the doctor, as soon as it happened, they sent me to their company doctor, and this company doctor fills out the line, you know, of the symptoms, what caused it happened. She didn't ask. See, there was a confusion there, and so whenever I had my court case, they kind of threw it out because the symptoms were listed where the cause was, and it wasn't. You know, you can't just say, "Oh, it was hurting while I was walking around," and so that kind of screwed me over. Screwed me out of my workman's comp, and then they gave me a very menial, and my knees have never been right since. And I had surgery on my left knee, so I kept working. I worked until 2020. Till April, then the COVID came, and as I told you, I contracted asthma in 2012. That doctor, his name was Dr. Wally Darabi, actually passed away. And so here I have asthma and osteoarthritis in both knees, okay? And so my wife passes away, and she was working. She was the one working, and due to some, let's just say, the way she handled the finances, she did something that I wouldn't have done. Let's put it that way, and left me in a very bad situation where I had enough money probably to last me a few years. Of course, here we are, 2020, and it's now 2024. She passed in 2020, and I've managed to survive all the way to now, and my money is gone. I had applied for Social Security in October of 2020, and they denied me because that paperwork that said my knee, I had osteoarthritis, was from 2016. Because I told you, I was injured at the end of 2015. I had surgery at the beginning of 2016. That's when he said I had osteoarthritis. I'll put that clip up here and show you that, you know, and I applied, and they said, well, your paperwork's too old. So they denied me on a technicality. To make matters worse, instead of keeping my case open, they closed my case. And then when I finally got a lawyer to look at my case, I had to reapply at the end of 2022, sorry. I applied at the end of 2022 in December. So I lost 2 years of back pay right then because they did that. So my lawyer said, well, we can sue back to, we'll get you back to December. I said, I want all the way back to when I applied. So I've talked to J.D. Vance, I've written him, I've tried to talk to his office and everything about, you know, getting all that back pay because I was injured. I mean, I worked my whole life. And here's the thing. I don't know if you know much about Social Security. There's a big problem with Social Security, okay? It's one thing for people who didn't work. I worked so many years that, you know, there's two different kinds of Social Security, and I'll say this again. I don't think I said this in another video, that you can be insured. If you've worked enough, you can become insured, which means I can own property and I can still work and make so much money per month. There's a limit though. I can't just, but see, I really didn't ever want to live on Social Security. That's why I didn't just take it in 2016 when I was disabled. I didn't want to live on Social Security. So I kept working till 2020. Then the COVID came. They said take the leave because of my asthma. I took the leave. I never went back to work. My knees got worse. So then I applied. My wife passes away in August, and I applied in October. Then that nightmare of an election, if you want to call it an election, happened in November. And ever since, nothing, you know, I almost feel like they're doing it to me on purpose. I'm not saying they are, but you know, I live in this HOA. To make matters worse, and this is how bad my situation is. I live in an HOA that doesn't allow you to run side businesses. Now, I do have a chef business that I could run outside of here, but nobody's hiring a personal chef or private chef right now. I can't even do that, or I'd be working in a restaurant around here if I could stand up and work like that. So, I never had, I mean, my wife left me in this pickle, like now, where I didn't have enough to pay our mortgage off and then keep the condo. I didn't have enough. If I had paid off what I had of the condo, I would have been broke, and I wouldn't even be making this video. I'd already be living in the street. So I had to keep the money and then just pay the mortgage monthly until now. Now I'm out, and you know, and I go to get help. Now, see, when my wife passed away, her and her brother inherited property from their dad and uncle when they passed away. So my wife owns parts of a house here in Ohio and part of a house in West Virginia, and some acreage and some other acreage. So there's actually 3 deeds in West Virginia. So I inherited all of that, but the house in West Virginia, because it was set as next to kin, it went to her brother, and that's fine because I don't really care. But see, before my wife passed away, she had made a deal with her brother that she would take the house in Bedford, Ohio, and he would keep the property in West Virginia. They never had time to do it. She passed away, you know, And then furthermore, me and her had discussed many times about getting an insurance policy in case something happened to either one of us. And the one she had was just very, I mean, it paid for her funeral. She had 2 funeral services here and one down there in West Virginia. So, and she's buried in West Virginia. I don't even have a headstone on her head, on her grave. That's how bad it is. I waited on her family because they were supposed to get back to me and say, okay, we want this headstone. By the time they agreed to what headstone, I was already almost broke. So me and my dogs, I mean, I got 2 dogs because I was here all alone, and there was somebody in the mix who had something to do with her doing what she did financially, and somebody who shouldn't have been talking to my wife at all, really. And, you know, there's always that one person who thinks they know better, and they get involved in your relationship, and that I didn't even know. You know how I found out? I found out when my wife passed away, and I got her phone. So I start reading to her texts, 5 years of texts, and guess what? I found out this person had been, all the problems that me and my wife had, and me and my wife were almost married 20 years. And we had like less than 10 fights, maybe 7 or 8. And most of those happened after she got to know this person. And I didn't even know this was going on, that she was texting her and all this stuff was, you know, they're related to me on my family side. It's ironic. And I never did anything to them. So why they were involved in my business and telling my wife what to do, I don't know. But here I'm stuck in this position now. So once I've applied for Social Security, they denied me, and now I've got a lawyer working on it. And I tried to get help because my name is on that property. Nobody will help me. Here's the other. This is a catch-22. That's why I'm going to name this video the catch-22 from hell. Okay. Because I can't work here because of this HOA. I can't run my businesses. I can't go out here and work a regular job. I can't get Social Security. When I went to go get the SSDI or the health and all that insurance, they denied me at first because my name was on all that property. But guess what? I can't do nothing with that property. I can't sell it or anything. Only thing I can do is take him to court. With what money? The lawyers cost $4,000. They want $4,000 to file for a partition for just to sell the one up here. It's for me to force him to sell. So there is such a thing as getting to a point where you're just in this catch-22 where there's no way out. I keep trying everything. So I not being able to work. So I sit down and I start writing books. Well, to make matters worse, I got things for sale on Facebook Marketplace. I got things for sale on eBay. And guess what? Nothing's selling because nobody is seeing. Because they have this shadow ban on me because I talked to everybody about something that happened years ago. And so now I'm on this shadow ban and nobody is not only seeing my books, and I got 2 books out on the market now, and I'm almost done with my next book, which is called Time Upon Time. Technically, I wrote that book in 1997, and it got lost in a fire. It's a long story, but it's part 1. There's a 2-part there, and then the other ones I have on the market are part 2, Book of Dracula and Book of Dracula 2, The Hidden, which are not what you think. They're not like the typical Dracula jumping through the window and biting every girl in the neighborhood kind of thing. You know what I mean? So it's not like that. And here's the thing. I'm trying to get help. I have a Give, Send, Go, and I have a GoFundMe, and nobody sees them. So I mean, a few people have seen them, and a few people have given me help, but I haven't. My mortgage is right now. They had me on that COVID thing, so they have been deferring my payments. And guess what? This is the last month I have. So I have no money coming from SS. I have no money coming. And here's the thing. They just did give me the medical thing. But guess what? I can't even get in with the medical thing. And this is probably thanks to illegal aliens. I get the Medicaid. And I can't even get in to see a doctor until April. But my mortgage thing is up this month. So I have to sell. I have nowhere to go. If I sell this, Sorry. When I sell this, I only have whatever I get in equity because me and my wife had not finished paying this off. And I still can't understand how me and my wife have paid over $200,000 for this $130,000 condo, and they're still saying I owe them $100,000. So when if I sell it for $180 right now, which it will take me having to do some, because of my HOA, which is, I sued them in court of law because they did a lot of things were illegal. They defied their own bylaws. They defied HOA laws or FHA laws. They towed my vehicle away, which was, I think it's section 14.12 or something of FHA law, that once they make a reasonable accommodation, that they aren't supposed to be harassing people with a disability. Now, I had spoken to a manager in 2008, and this is 2 years before my wife passed away, who made a reasonable accommodation. She said, you can go ahead and park your car on the street, just got to get a handicap placard. So I go get a handicap placard. This is also ironic because this is the last time I had insurance, and the last time I went to a doctor was in 2018. And now I haven't had insurance since. I haven't been able to go to a doctor. I don't have anything. And so I have nothing to give to this judge when he sets up my hearing for my Social Security. And here I get this Medicaid, and I still got to wait till April. So I hope he doesn't set the appointment anytime soon. And I don't know what else to do because I can't. How do you force people to help you when? And here again, like I said, I'm not asking for something that I didn't earn. I worked for. Like I said, I've put into my Social Security my whole life until I was insured. I'm insured on my Social Security, and a lot of people never reach that status. They never worked enough in their life to get insured status, which I am, because I did work that much. So why is it, was everything, it's so easy to walk in this country and you can get help if you're illegal, but somebody who's been here working, it's bad enough, and what you do to the veterans is even worse. So I you know what? Even then, they have a veteran who went in the Army and works for a year of his life, and it got out, he got injured in the Army, gets out, and then you do the same thing to him. That's wrong. I mean, so it's the same thing, but on a different level, and I have utter respect for veterans, and it's sad that what you're doing to them. It's sad what you're doing to the American people. SS needs to be revised. I'm not talking about the part where you get paid. I'm talking about the part where you actually get your SS. Like me right now, why did a technicality is causing me to go bankrupt? I'm going bankrupt over a technicality because my paperwork was too old. It says right on there, I have osteoarthritis. Osteoarthritis doesn't go away. There's things you can do to make it a little better, but it never goes away. It tends to get worse as time goes on. And then with me not being able to work in this HOA, that's not helping either. I can't even get out here and do nothing in my garage and run my side businesses because this HOA doesn't allow it. I am in this terrible catch-22. I have a give, send, go. I'm going to set the link into this video. And if you can help me, please, anything. They finally did give me, I've got EBT, which is same as food stamps. And when I was looking at the application for EBT, right at the top it says, do you want to register to vote? And then down here it asks you if you're illegal or if you're an alien. So I'm just wondering now if the illegal aliens are using that to register to vote. But they're going to help them, and they can't help somebody who actually worked and paid into it their whole life. And here I'm going bankrupt, and I'm going to probably lose. And here's the sad part. My wife, I wouldn't say she lived beyond her means, but she liked to be comfortable, and she did certain things. She had crafts and stuff, so she would buy tools and craft. I have a lot of material wealth here. I have machines and stamps and dyes and ink and paper and stuff to make cards. She made not business cards, but greeting cards. My wife sold greeting cards. We even made wire jewelry and stuff, and and I make glass stuff. So I got all this stuff, and I can't do any of it because of that, because of this HOA. Now, again, if you have any questions, you're more than welcome to ask me, but I've tried everything to get help. Everybody keeps suggesting things. I've done everything I can. Like I said, they just gave me the health insurance, and now I still can't get in to get seen until April, and here I got till this month. This month I'm done. I can't even see unless I could sell some of this material stuff, but like I told you, I put things up on eBay that won't sell. I put things on Facebook, nobody sees it. And the few people that see it, when you put things on Facebook Marketplace, I don't know what it is, but people think it should be free or something, like you want to give it away, and it's like, man, get out of here, I got this set of books, just for example, here a while back when I had money, I was my mom had this really cool set of books called Time Life, and I'm going to end it after this. Time Life Enchanted World, and it had wizards and witches, and there was all these different books, fairies and elves and water spirits, and so there's 21 books in this set. So I bought 2 or 3 sets that weren't completed, to make 2 whole sets, and I did it for less than what it cost to buy 1 set, and I put a really nice set together, and I said, okay, I'll sell this set for $300. Well, guess what? They're selling for like $400 or $500. Some people are selling them brand new in the condition that mine are in. And I keep marking them. I got them down to $275. And I know that sounds expensive, but when you think 21 times 15, that was when they came out. So that's over $300 already. And this is they don't even make them anymore. So this is like a collector's thing, and they're like almost immaculate shape. And it's a whole full 21 book set. Nobody even sees them. Like, rarely do I find somebody who comes on. I got a wedding dress for sale. My wife's niece had a wedding dress. My wife and her dad bought her this wedding dress, and then she turns around and goes and buys a different wedding dress. So this wedding dress is actually never been worn, never been used. It's Pat Catan. I don't know if you know who Pat Catan is, or that's where they got it at. It's actually the name brand. I can't think of it on the top of my head, but it's a thing that all these things I have for sale and nobody sees them. I see. So anything extra money I can make, I can't even make it because I'm being shadow banned on everything, everywhere. So I hope, I pray that when you see this video, if you can, please share this video with somebody. I will put a link to my Give, Send, Go and my GoFundMe. I know people don't like GoFundMe because they pulled some shiesty stuff with those truckers in Canada, and so a lot of people don't like GoFundMe. That's why I went ahead and started a Give, Send, Go too. Plus, I have books that are on Barnes & Noble. They're on Amazon. But you got to pay them for advertising. Nobody's finding them either. Nobody's finding my books, and I try to advertise on the websites. Here I got thousands and thousands of followers across all these platforms, and I'll post something and 4 or 5 people see it, maybe. So where are all these thousands of people? Why aren't they seeing? Because of the way these sites are setting their algorithm, or is it because? And then I suspect something that Trump said. He said whenever they set up, Joe Biden was trying to set up that Ministry of Truth. You remember that? That Nina Jankowicz, that was her name. The Disinformation Governance Board, whatever they trying to set up. That he said once he got that, he was going to have like these algorithms that would come over somebody's whole IP address. And I said, well, they've already been using it on me. I already know. Because who I was talking about years ago, he's very wealthy. He's very rich. I had evidence on him and it vanished, so nobody knew where it was. How did they find it? Nobody even knew I had it but one person, and that was my mother, and she didn't get it, and it vanished. And the funny thing is where it was at, everything else that was there is still there. Just that thing. And then it was like a document sleeve, and there was other stuff in it. My birth certificate was in it. My medical records were in it. We had immunization books when we were kids, almost like a little passport kind of almost thing, but not really. But we had these immunization records. Mom kept for me, and each one of me and my brothers had one of these sleeves, and each one of us had all of our records in our own sleeve. See, my whole sleeve vanished. Both of my brothers were still there. You tell me. And it was way out in the country, so it wasn't like right up in the city, or this was on somebody's private property. How they got into their private property and got that sleeve and got it out of there, I have no idea. But this person, there's a special place in hell for them. I'll put it that way. And they had no idea what's coming to them for just the crap they put me through with what they did to me, then stealing my evidence on top of it. Y'all have no idea. I mean, it would blow your mind if I could tell, but I'm not going to tell you, because first off, there's a problem whether you would believe me or not because of who it is and what it is. And the second is to believe that they were able to listen to. They had to have been tapping my phones, because see here first, my mother was disposed for a while. That's just some bad shit happened to her. She was indisposed for a while, and I'm not getting into her story, but my paperwork was stored away, and like I said, way out in the country. I called my brothers and said, "Hey man, can you go get my document sleeve thing out and you know, send it to me?" That was around 2001, 2002, 2003, and then 2015, I drove down there. Like I said, me and my wife were married almost 20 years. I've been here in Ohio since 2000, and I've been getting railed. I'm telling you, railed bad. I drive down 2015. My sleeve's gone. Both of my brothers are still there. Mine's gone. So is the piece of evidence I had against this person. Amazing. So I believe that was something to do with Project Echelon, which they've been using since the 40s or 40s, I heard, maybe. They've been listening. See, if they're listening to your phone calls, this is the problem with our 3-letter agencies. If they're listening to your phone calls, let's just say, for instance, one of their high-priced clients has a problem, right? They listen and they go, "Oh, well, this person has this piece of evidence hidden over here, so let's send one of our FBI or CIA agents over here and we'll steal the evidence from them." That's exactly what the hell happened to me. I put in FOIA requests. An FBI agent came to my house in 2001 asking me questions about something that really didn't. And then he tried to have me arrested. And I talked to the police. The police said, "Well, what you said wasn't bad, wasn't threatening. So why don't you just get a lawyer?" Well, I've been trying to get a lawyer for this is over 20 years now. 20-something years. So nobody listened to me. I tried to write 3 presidents, including Donald Trump. And nobody listened to me about this man. He's a piece of shit. I'm sorry. Straight up, he's a piece of shit. He stole something from somebody he shouldn't have stole. And then he to cover it up, he stole the evidence. Okay? It doesn't matter. And this is one reason why you'll find out I hate Hollywood. I hate them. I hate all of them. I don't care about movies. The way they make the movies now, they're shit anyway. Now, they need to rebuild Hollywood because it's corrupt to the core. It's corrupt to the core. Hollywood needs to be rebuilt, taken apart, cleaned out, just like the swamp in D.C. And the guy who robbed me, he could have even changed my life. But see, he's a criminal. And so now back to where I'm at. I can't get Social Security yet. I haven't been able to get any help. I just now got the medical aid, and I'm going bankrupt. So this could be my last video, because if I lose everything, and my bills are all due right now, and I've got no money. And I can't sell anything else. I'm literally at this point now where there's nowhere else for me to go. So this could be my last video. And if any of y'all who are following me on Truth, which I got close to 16,000 followers there now, or 15,000 something. But I mean, I need help, and I've asked everybody in the country for help. I mean, the presidents, and except Joe Biden, I won't ask him for nothing. He can drop off the face of the earth for all I care. I really wouldn't care. But anyway, he's made my life harder. Anyway, I just need help, man. I'll put a link to my GiveSendGo and my GoFundMe. If y'all can help me, or if you can go to Barnes & Noble or Amazon and look for my book, Book of Dracula 1 or Book of Dracula 2, and help me out if you can. Thank you. Real quick, I did a fake movie trailer for my books, Book of Dracula 1 and 2, if they were ever made into a movie. So if you want to check that out, I edited it right onto the end here. Thank you again.
Under our noses. But it's the connection between certain and mental effect.